Hello everyone, welcome to my next tutorial. Today I've got another project for you. This time is a square doily. For this tutorial you will need about one whole ball crochet tritium. I use Rico Design Essential. 50 grams is about 280 meters, and the crochet hook size 1.75. So as you saw already on the picture, I've used two colors, the blue one, the sky one, and the white one. So if you would like to, you can make only with the one color, and if you like to, you can use two as I done. This doily is measured about 21 inches. So because it's square, so the all measurements are the same. So it's 21 inches wide and 21 inches long. Our work, we need to start by making slip knot and then chain of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now into the first chain we need to work slip stitch to form ring. We've got ring, and our first round we need to start by making chain of 3 as a first double crochet, then another chain of 3 as a chain free space. Now into our ring we will work double crochet and then chain of 3, and again double crochet, chain of 3, double crochet, chain of 3. So now we need to repeat this pattern until we will have 8 double crochets and 8 chain free spaces. 1, 2 and 3. So at the moment I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I need to make 2 more. Double crochet, chain of 3 and double crochet, chain of 3. At the end of our round we need to work slip stitch into the third chain. So 1, 2 and 3 into the top of double crochet. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chain free spaces. Our round number 2 we need to start by working slip stitch into the first one, then chain of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this will be the first triple treble crochet, and now we need to yarn over 4 times, so we should have 5 loops on the hook, and we will work another 5 triple treble crochets into our chain space. So I've got first one, so basically 2, three, 4, 5. So into the first chain free space from the previous round we've done 5 triple treble crochets, and now we will work chain of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Then we are going into the next chain space and we will work exactly the same. So 5 triple treble crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then chain of 7 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Into the next chain space, again 5 triple treble crochets and then chain 7. So at the end of our run we should have 8 groups of 5 triple treble crochets and 8 chain 7 spaces. At the end of our run we need to work slip stitch into the 6th chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And now we will start run number 3. So now we need to work slip stitch into the 2nd stitch and into the 3rd one as well. Then chain of 3, 1, 2, 3 as a first double crochet, and now we are going straight into the chain space. So into the chain space we will work 6 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then chain of 3, 1, 2 and 3, and another 6 double crochets into the same chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then we need to skip first 2 stitches and into the 3rd one treble crochet, double crochet, no treble. So we need to skip first 2 stitches into the 3rd one double crochet, and again into the chain space 6 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, chain of 3 and another 6 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then into the 3rd stitch double crochet. So from now we need to repeat our pattern all the way around. So in each chain space we will work 12 single crochets, but between each 6 we will work chain of 3. Then double crochet into the 3rd triple treble crochet from the previous round. At the end of our round we need to work slip stitch into the 1st double crochet, so into the top of chain 3. Now round 4. We have to start by making slip stitch in each stitch until we will have chain space. So into the next 5 stitches we need to work slip stitch, and then into the chain 3 space. Now chain of 3 as a first double crochet, then we need to work another 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3 and 4, chain of 3 and another 5 double crochets into the same chain space, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we've done 10 double crochets plus chain 3. Now chain of 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then we are going into the next chain 3 space and we have to work the same. So 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, chain of 3 and 5 double crochets into the same chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, chain of 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and now again we need to go to the next chain space and we will work the same. 5 double crochets, chain of 3 and 5 double crochets. So now we need to repeat our pattern all the way around. So again, at the end of our round, after the last chain of 11, I've done slip stitch into the third chain. Now we need to start round number 5 and slip stitch into the second stitch, then chain of 3 as a first double crochet, into the next 3 stitches 1 double crochet, 1, 2 and 3, then into the chain space we will work 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, chain of 3 and another 2 double crochets into the same chain space. So into the chain 3 space we've done 4 double crochets and chain of 3. Now into the next 4 stitches we have to make 1 double crochet in each stitch. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. The last stitch we need to skip. So on this side we've got 6 double crochets, then chain of 3, and here we've got 6 double crochets. Now chain of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, single crochet into the chain space, chain of 7 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, single crochet into the chain 3 space, chain of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, single crochet into the next chain space, chain of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and now into the next, into the next 4 stitches 1 double crochet. We need to skip the first double crochet from the previous round, and into the next 4 1 double crochet, 1, 2, 3 and 4, then 2 double crochets into the chain space, 1 and 2, chain of 3, another 2 double crochets into the same chain space, 1 and 2, and into the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now we need to repeat our pattern. We need to work another 4 chain 7 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, and again chain of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, single crochet into the chain space, another chain of 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, single crochet into the chain 3 space, chain of 7, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, single crochet into the chain space, chain of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we need to repeat what we've done on this corner. So we need to skip first stitch into the next 4, 1 double crochet, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So then we need to repeat what we've done into the chain 3, 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets, and another 4 double crochet into the stitches from the previous round. So now we need to repeat our pattern all the way around. So we should have 4 corners with 6 double crochets on 2 sides, and we should have 4 sides with 4 chain 7 spaces. And now we need to start round 6, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, round 6. So round 6 we have to start straight away from first stitch, as we've done slip stitch, chain of 3 as a first double crochet. Now 1 double crochet in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now we've got chain 3, so into that chain 3 2 double crochets, then chain of 3 and 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2, then 1 double crochet in each stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So on both sides we've got 8 double crochets plus chain 3. Now chain of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, single crochet into the first chain space from the previous round. Chain of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, single crochet into the next chain space. Chain of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, single crochet into the next chain space, then chain of 7 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, single crochet into the last chain space, and one more time chain of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now we need to repeat what we've done on the first corner, so 1 double crochet into the next 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 2 double crochets into the chain space, 1 and 2, then chain of 3, 2 more double crochets into the same chain space, 1 and 2, and then 1 double crochet in each stitch. So again on both sides we should have 8 double crochets and into the center chain of 3. So 5 and 6. Now we need to repeat by making chain of 7 and single crochet in each chain space. So we should have the same as here, 5 chain 7 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then our corner, so we have to repeat what we've got here, another 5 chain 7 spaces, and the next corner, then another chain 7 spaces. Now round 7, so after as we've done slip stitch into the first double crochet, then we need to work slip stitch into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2. So now we are in a third stitch, so we need to skip the first 2 stitches, chain of 3 as a first double crochet, then 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then into the chain free space 2 double crochets, so exactly the same as on the previous rounds. Then chain of 3 and 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2. Now into the next 6 stitches 1 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. We've got the last two last 2 stitches, so we have to skip those 2 stitches, and now chain of 7, single crochet into the first chain space, chain of 7, single crochet into the next chain space, chain of 7, single crochet into the next chain space, chain of 7, single crochet into the next chain space, and again chain of 7, single crochet into the next chain space, one more time chain of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And again we need to repeat what we've done on our first corner, so we have to skip first 2 stitches into the first double crochet, and then 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So now we have to repeat what we've done on our first corner, so 2 double crochets, chain free, and 2 double crochets into the chain free space, and then double crochet into the next 6 stitches. On the side where we've got chain spaces we have to work the same, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chain 7 spaces, so all the way around we have to work exactly the same. Now round 8, so again we need to make slip stitch into the first 2 stitches, so we have to skip the first 2 stitches again, and from the first stitch chain of 3 as a first double crochet, then 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Into the chain free space 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, then chain of 3 and 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2. Now 1 double crochet into the next 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then we have to skip the last 2 stitches, chain of 7, 4, 5, 6 and 7, single crochet into the first chain space, then chain of 7 again, single crochet into the next chain 7 space, and again chain of 7, single crochet to the next chain space, chain of 7 again, into the next chain space we have to work single crochet and chain of 7, single crochet into the next chain space, chain of 7, single crochet into the next chain space. One more time, chain of 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. And again we need to skip first 2 stitches, double crochet into the third and then into the next 5. So we've got 2 3 4 5 and 6, then into the chain free space, 2 double crochets, chain of 3 and another 2 double crochets. Now 1 double crochet into the next 6 stitches. 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So again we have to skip the last 2 stitches and we will start working with chain 7 spaces. So the same as on this side, you should have 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7 chain 7 space. Then we are going to the next corner. We need to repeat what we've done from the beginning, another 7 chain 7 spaces, another corner, and the last chain 7 spaces all the way around. And now I will show you how to make the last one round, and the last one round at the moment we will be working only on the first part. Then we have to work another 3 the same parts, but until row number 7. I think 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 until row number 8. The round number 9 we are working at the moment only into the first part, and then after, as we will do the second part with 8 rounds, I will show you how we need to join the second part to the first one by using the last one round. So at the moment we have to make slip stitch into the first stitch at the end of our round, then into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and the same as on the previous rounds. So chain of 3 as a first double crochet, then double crochet into the next 5 stitches, 1 2 3 4 and 5, into the chain space, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, then chain of 9, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9, into the same chain space, another 2 double crochets. So now instead of making chain of 3 as on the previous rounds, we are working chain of 9 and the rest staying exactly the same. So into the next 6 stitches, 1 double crochet, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Now we have to skip the last 2 double crochets and chain of 7. Then single crochet into the first chain space, chain of 7, single crochet into the next chain space, chain of 7, single crochet into the next chain space, and again chain of 7, into the next one, chain of 7, and into the next chain 7 space, single crochet, then chain of 7, into the next one, single crochet. So as you can see, on each round we've got one more chain 7 space than on the previous one. So chain slip stitch, single crochet into the next chain space and the last chain of 7. So again, now we need to repeat what we've done on the first corner. So double crochet into the first stitch, we need to skip the first 2, then into the next 5 stitches, two double crochets into the chain space, and again chain of 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then another 2 double crochets into the same chain space and 1 double crochet into the next 6 double crochets. So now we need to repeat this pattern all the way around. So in each corner now we need to work chain of 9, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 chain 7 spaces. I've done my round number 8 to the end, and then I start round number 9. So I skipped the first 2 stitches, then I've done my 6 double crochets plus another 2 into the chain space, and now we should work chain of 9. We will start by making chain of 4, and then we are going into the second square. So we've got the first one with 9 rows, and this one is only with the 8 rows, and I will do single crochet into that chain 9. So I've joined into the first part, single crochet. So the best idea is just put your crochet hook from the back, not from the top, not from the back. Single crochet, then another chain of 4, so single crochet instead of chain of 1, and then we need to go back to our first square and we need to make another 2 double crochets, so exactly the same as our last round. So 2 double crochets, then we have to work another 6 double crochets, 1 into the next 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So the last 2 we need to skip. Now we should do chain of 4. So I will do chain of 7. So I will do chain of 3. Then we are going into the first chain of 7. And we will do single crochet instead of making chain of 4, and another chain of 3, 1, 2 and 3. Now we are going back into our second square, and we will work single crochet into the chain space, and again chain of 3, single crochet into the second chain space on our first part, then another chain of 3. We are going back to the second square, single crochet into the next chain space, chain of 3, then single crochet into the next chain space on the first square. So basically we need to join in each chain space, and after that chain of 3 again, and we are going back to the second square and single crochet into the next chain space, chain of 3 into the next chain space, into first part, single crochet, then chain of 3, and we are going back into the next chain space in the second part. So now we need to repeat this pattern to the last chain space. So again, chain of 3, I'm going back to this chain space, single crochet, chain of 3, single crochet into the next chain space, chain of 3, single crochet into the next chain space here, and again chain of 3, 1 2 3, single crochet into the next chain space into the first part. So in each one, I think it's quite hard to show you, but I am working single crochet from the top, not from the back. Chain of 3, single crochet into the next, then chain of 3, single crochet into the last one, chain space on the first part, and the last chain of 3, and we need to go back to our next corner. So now we have to skip the first 2 stitches, 1 double crochet into the next 6 stitches, 1 2 3 4 and 5, then 2 double crochets into the chain space, 1 and 2, and we have to repeat what we've done at the beginning. So instead of chain of 9, we are working chain of 4, 1 2 3 and 4, single crochet into the chain space, chain of 4 again, 1 2 3 and 4. Now we are going back to our second part, 2 more double crochets into the same chain space, 1 and 2, and into the next 6 stitches, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. And now we need to finish our round on the second part. So as we've joined 2 squares together, now we need to finish our round to the end of our square exactly the same as on the first part. So we have to work after the last double crochet, chain of 7, single crochet into the first chain space, and again chain of 7, single crochet into the second chain space until the last chain space, and at the corner we have to work 2 double crochets, chain of 9 and another 2 double crochets. So exactly the same as we've done the last one round in first part. Now we need to join our third part, so exactly the same. I start my round by making double crochet into the 6 stitches plus another 2 into the chain space. Now chain of 4, single crochet into the chain 9 space, not slip stitch, chain, single crochet, then another chain of 4. We need to go back to the chain stitch, chain space, and we will do another 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, and then into the next 6 stitches, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Now again, instead of making chain of 7, we need to make chain of 3, 1 2 3, single crochet into the first chain 7 space on our second part, then chain of 3, single crochet into the first chain space into the third part, chain of 3, single crochet into the second chain space in the second part, chain of 3, single crochet into the second chain space in a third part, chain of 3, single crochet into the third chain space on the second part, chain of 3, single crochet into the third chain space in a third part. So basically exactly the same as we've done before. So now we are in a third part, then we need to go into the fourth in the second part, into the fourth on the third, fifth, fifth, 6, 6, 7, 7. So in each one need to be joined by working this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we are going back to working double crochets. So now we need to join each chain space. So as I said before, I just join to the last chain space on the second part. So on the third part I have no chain spaces left. After the next chain of 3 we are going back to the third double crochet, and we need to work 1 double crochet into the next 6 stitches, so from third one to the last, and another square is almost joined because we need to go to the next chain 9 space. So I've done my 2 double crochets into the chain space already, and again chain of 4, and now we will join into the single crochet as we've joined 2 chain stitches. So I will put, or actually into the single crochet we will work another single crochet and then chain of 4. Now we are going back to our chain space and 2 more double crochets into the chain free space on our third part and into the next 6 stitches. So I've got 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So again, now after as we've joined, we need to finish our round to the end, and then we need to work the fourth piece, and then we will join to the last 2 squares. And now is the time for joining the fourth, the last one square. So now I will move and I will start joining to that one corner. So again, I've done my 8 double crochets, so now chain of 4, single crochet into the chain 9, chain of 4, 2 more double crochets into the chain space, and into the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So from now we need to repeat what we've done on the other 3 parts. So chain of 3, single crochet into the first chain space, chain of 3, and single crochet into the first chain space on our last part, chain of 3, single crochet into the second chain space, chain of 3, single crochet into the second chain space in the last part. So again, chain of 3, single crochet into the third chain, then chain of 3, single crochet into the next third chain. So we need to repeat until the last chain space. So exactly in the same way, now here, then on the all chain spaces. So again, I've done the single crochet into the last chain 7 space. So now chain of 3, and we need to go back to the double crochets. So we need to skip first 2, then into the next 6 double crochets, 1 double crochet, into the chain space, 2 double crochets, and now chain of 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we need to join our fourth part, so I will put my crochet hook just into the opposite chain space, and I will work single crochet onto the top of last single crochet. I hope it will be looks nice. Yeah, it's not too bad. So then another chain of 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. We are going back into the chain space, 2 more double crochets, and then next 6 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, chain of 7, 1, 2, 3, chain of 3, because I forgot that we need to join this part as well. So chain of 3, now we've got 2 sides left, so we need to work exactly the same. Single crochet into the first chain space, then chain of 3, single crochet into the next first chain space, chain of 3, single crochet into the second chain space, chain of 3, single crochet into the next second chain space, chain of 3, single crochet into the third chain space, chain of 3, and now into the next third chain space. So now again we have to repeat this until the last chain space, and then from the double crochet we need to repeat until the chain free space. At the end, of course, when we've done the next 2 double crochets into the chain free space, we have to remember that we need to work the last single crochet into the chain 9 space. So we will work chain of 4, single crochet into the chain 9 space, chain of 4, and we are going back to our last part, 2 more double crochets into the chain space, and now we need to finish our round all the way around, of course, and that will be That's it. Now after this one we will start working on our board all the way around, all the way around all 4 pieces.